What's up, guys? Sniper here from DFS Army. We're going to talk Underdog Fantasy Thursday Night Football, Week 2 of the NFL regular season here in 2023. It is Vikings. It is Eagles. Let's go ahead and let's just get right after it. Looking at the game here on DraftKings Sportsbook. Eagles are now a 6.5-point favorite. I did a prize picks video earlier today, and they were a 7-point favorite. So coming down just a little bit, still a 49-point total on the money line. Eagles minus 260. So what am I going to do for this game? I'm actually going to use a little bit of the projections we have from our partners at Sharp App. So a little sneak peek underneath the hood here. You want access to all of the props for all of NFL Sunday, all the good stuff. Join up over at the Sharp app. In addition to DFS Army, you can bundle those together. Those links are in the description. Use your promo codes, all that good stuff. That's where I'm going to get the projections from for this video. I want to build game stack here on Underdog. Underdog, I'm going to go with 3 picks. 3 picks are much more valuable on Underdog than they are on prize picks. Not going to bang out a whole 5-pick video because really the odds and projections aren't pointing that way. We'll dig into that a little bit. But especially when you're doing these single game type of showdowns, the important thing is you want to build correlatively. So what that means is I don't want to go play a Jalen Hurts more on the passing prop and then go less than one of his primary receivers in A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, whoever it may be, because you're rooting for over on passing yards and under on receiving yards. Well, that doesn't work. Similarly, at least for me, if you're expecting a high, in this game in particular, a lot of overs on the board, 49-point total, I'm going to build for a higher scoring, air it out type of game. So I don't want to have overs on one side and a bunch of unders on the other. If you want to play that kind of one-team smashes like we saw Sunday Night Football last week with Giants and Cowboys, then you can build that way. I'm saying everything in one slip should kind of match a game script. So why am I going with that blowout potential other than the 49-point total? I pulled up the NFL DVP here still for 2022. Pull up the wide receivers, sort by yards. The Vikings gave up the most receiving yards to wide receivers in 2022. Game 1 this season, they had Tampa Bay and Baker Mayfield and whatever that offense is. So I'm not a believer that they've shored up the secondary yet. I don't think they have. So I'm going to attack the Eagles receivers, especially at the wide receiver position. So start digging in here on my prop tool here. So first play up is Kirk Cousins, rushing yards 3.5. The standard deviations are good. I'm going to pass. Doesn't fit the game script I'm looking to build. The first play that does is Quez Watkins over the 14.5 yard mark. So I'm going to pull up Quez. It is 14.5. Same line here on Underdog. Something to be mindful of when you're using a projection tool. Where are things slightly different? In this case, we are still right at 14.5. So no harm, no foul there. Thought I had Quez Watkins pulled up here. I do not. Let's quick pause in the action here while I pull it up. While I am pulling it up, though, if you guys could go over and smash that like button for me, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you join up at DFS Army, all that good stuff. I do appreciate it, especially the likes, guys. You'd be surprised how much it helps in the YouTube algorithm. All right, so this is Quez Watkins' log here. First game of the season was over. 2 receptions for 17 yards against the Pats. So was over in the first game of the season. Going back a little bit here into 2022. Again, he's kind of spotty. Second half of the season was pretty consistently over. A couple misses, but I think more often than not, the second half of the season, he was making this mark. I think he's involved in the offense, especially as teams are going to try to limit your A.J. Brown and your Devonta Smith, whose props, by the way, are also pretty high. And I would not hate them, quite honestly. Brown's at 73.5. Devonta Smith is at 63.5. I got I really just need one decent reception or two medium ones here from Quez. Our projections go that way. Everything kind of is leaning me that way in terms of playing the shootout, targeting the wide receivers. So I'm going to put Quez Watkins here in my Thursday night slip. Head over to back to the Proptimizer, well, not the Proptimizer, it's the Sharp app top props model. And we are looking at, so Jalen Hurts got a couple props. Top one on the board is this over 296 all-purpose yards. Interesting look here. And then you got 250 in the passing yards. We'll look over at Underdog in a second. Got him projected at 273 and 333 in terms of all-purpose yards. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at what the lines available for Jalen Hurts are. So they don't have the combination line here. So I can go 47.5 rushing yards, or there's 250 passing yards. Again, I want to target the wide receivers, which means Jalen Hurts is going to have a decent day. If he gets too much done on his legs, that could hurt me. But in terms of this slip, I'm gonna go with the passing yard prop and the higher than 251 passing yards. Again, the projection we have right now is at 273 and change. And it's just a matter of the matchup. It's what the Vikings give up. It's what the lines kind of indicate. And that's just where I'm going to go. If you want to play the rushing prop, then build a separate slip with maybe I'm going to give out a Vikings play in a second because you can pair it that way. That makes more sense. But I wouldn't play more on a Jalen Hurts rushing prop, which is a fine play in the slate. I think it's in here somewhere. Yeah, Jalen Hurts total rushing yards projected for 60, lines at like 46.5. I think it was 45.5 even here. 47, excuse me, on Underdog. I think it's perfectly fine. But then I wouldn't start playing the receivers more. I know I think I beat that point home, but it's really important in this case. So I'm going to go with the passing yards here. Now we have to get to a Vikings player, because you can't have in one slip only one team represented. So we got to find a third player. Before I do that, one more reminder, hit that like button. If you're not on Underdog, if you're only playing on Prize Picks or Sleeper, I got links down there. Get you a $100 deposit match on Underdog using the code SNIPER and 2 free months of the prop subscription at DFS Army. So Alexander Mattison appears to be our target. We got the rushing yard prop, got 58.4, and the receiving yard prop, it's at a 13.5. That is a little bit under. So exactly what I've been hammering home. I'm going to err on the side on the receiving yards. Also, if you go look at game script wise here, if the Eagles are up in this game, the Vikings are going to need to throw. And that is just kind of I'm following the correlative game script that the odds are indicating. Could go the other way, but if the Eagles are out in front, there's going to be more dropbacks from Kirk Cousins, more checkdowns potentially for Madison. So that's what's leading me that direction. Now, I do have to pay a 1 yard kind of bump here on Madison versus the line that you could get. Looks like at FanDuel at 13.5. I think even I saw on page 2. This Devonta Smith prop is creeping back up, but again, you can't play an Eagle in there. So you can see you can go rushing attempts, and as you can see, the tools, both DFS Army Proptimizer, Sharp app, top props, they're all updated in real time. You just saw it update, so make sure you guys go and check that out. But what I'm getting at is just in terms of options, this Madison is what's popping in the projections, and what fits my game script is this higher than 14.5 receiving yards. So that's where I'm going to go here for this Thursday night Underdog slip. Going to go ahead, cue up my play real quick. We'll do our recap. It's Quez Watkins higher than 14.5 receiving yards. Jalen Hurts higher than 251.5 passing yards. Alexander Mattison higher than 14.5 receiving yards. Make our play. We'll lock that in. Underdog gives us a nice graphic. That's what I got for you guys today. If you didn't smash like already, I asked twice, third time the charm. Please hit the like button. It helps. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Join us in DFS Army Discord. There's all kinds of plays for all sports, tons of NFL stuff all the time, but all the sports, NBA's coming, NHL, soccer, esports, everything is in there. Come make some money with us. It's your daily reminder that whether or not you are a DFS Army member, you probably should be. But either way, good luck in those contests, and I will see you next time.